All we ever wanted was for them to be proud of us.
They have this way of holding hands. It's like their phone chargers. They have to be plugged into each other a few hours every day.
My parents take care of things. I need to see your papers. I don't have papers.
No, don't take them! Get your hands off
Lucia,
her!
dignity, mija. Show them who we are.
They don't care who we are, Papi.
And we show ourselves.
Mommy and Poppy figured it out. So will we.
Hey Dish viewers, Jessica York here at the beautiful Langham in Pasadena, California. Party of One checking in for the 2020 Television Critics Association Winter Press Tour. Now this place is crawling with celebrities, but I just got to sit down with Freeform's creative team and cast for their new reboot of Party of Five. Check it out.
I need you to ask you something.
Salud, mi amor.
You have to look after Rafa.
What?
Yeah, we won't be able to give him what you can. This is his home now.
I know it's huge.
No, if you're sure, Mommy, then it's nothing to ask. You did it for us.
Oh, my boy.
We'll bring him to visit you every time we can. And we can Skype every day.
So let's talk Party of Five. When I was growing up, this was a show that was very big. It's been off the air, and I wouldn't say it's necessarily a reboot. It feels like a reimagination, right?
Yes.
Is that what we're calling it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's very similar to the original in the sense that, same creators, same name, same title. But on the other side it's a completely different story. It revolves around these 5 siblings who've lost their parents, but in a completely different way. Now they are separated, and now while they still have their parents, technically, they can communicate over Skype or whatnot. They're not there to raise them, and throughout the everyday struggles that we have all gone through. I've gone through in my own personal life. So, yeah.
The lens we're seeing this through is literally ripped from the headlines. You guys in the first Party of Five. They lost their parents, they passed away, but your parents have been detained on the other side of the border.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the lens that we're looking through. What was that like playing that family dynamic?
It was a huge responsibility, and we understand that as actors that we are just, these vessels portraying or telling the stories of people who are actually going through this. So we had to do our extensive research and educate ourselves on what's happening around the world.
Yes.
And same with the writers. They were constantly staying updated as to what's happening around the world, what's happening, at this point in time. That way they can write kind of on the fly, depending on what's happening in the world as we speak. They would change some stuff, periodically upon filming an episode, but it's a huge responsibility, but at the same time, it's a huge honor that we get to tell these stories.
Sorry, puppy. Hey, sorry. No, mijo. No. You don't remember, you were so tiny. Yeah? We carried you across the desert, across the border. August, 106 degrees. We thought we were going to die there. And look at you. Here you are, look at you. You're so big and smart and talented. You be what you want to be, okay? I'm so proud of you. Emilio? I'm so proud of you.
I play the eldest. I play Emilio Acosta, and he is an aspiring musician who has dreams of touring the entire world. And upon his parents' sudden deportation, he's now forced to become the alpha, the father figure, the parent that these childs not only need but also deserve. And in the beginning, he's very hesitant. He's very hesitant because he feels, in a way, selfish, and he should be. He feels like his dreams are ripped right from under him, and they are. But I think throughout season 1 progresses, we begin to, or Emilio, my character, begins to acknowledge all of the sacrifices that his father had to make in order to bring him into this country in seek of the American dream. And I think Emilio starts to understand that as season 1 progresses.
Family dinner together almost every night.
Really?
Yep. This is our 5th straight day of home-cooked meals. Pretty good, huh? Lucia made...
Meatballs.
You don't sound so sure.
I play Valentina Acosta. She is the 2nd youngest of the family, and, she's just going as it is, as if it was every day, doing school, homework, and, having her parents not there anymore, it's hard for her because she has to take care of a baby for them. while her siblings are at the restaurant taking care of things. So, she's really strong. She's a strong girl, and she's very vulnerable and sensitive at times, but she's very quick-witted, and she's just learning how to become a woman without having her mom there. So
I just miss you both so much.
Oh, me too, me too.
And
Ridiculous.
Did you guys learn anything about this situation or about yourselves in playing your characters?
For me, I have learned quite a bit because, it just made me realize a little bit more, and I became more thankful every single day to have my family, because you never know when, that you may not have them there anymore. So
I think also in the process of educating ourselves and in the process of also speaking to other survivors who have gone through similar situations, I've learned so much about the DACA status. I was not aware that just because you're a DACA student, a dreamer, doesn't guarantee you citizenship. So those are things that we all learn, and we're constantly still learning and keeping up to date with what's going on in the world. That way, hopefully, if we get a season 2, we can be better informed in order to tell these stories and portray them as truthfully and as honestly as possible.
You guys are lovely. I'm really excited to see this show. I think that it's going to have a lot of heart, but it's also going to have some eye-opening moments that are good for us to see.
Thank
I completely
you.
agree.
Thank you.
She tries Binky.
I tried his binky. Is he wet? No, he's not wet.
You tries Binky.
I think he just misses them.
You take turns?
Well, welcome, you guys. The new reboot of Party of Five. Introduce us to your characters as we are seeing a whole new family of 5. So, Nico, we'll start with you.
I play Beto Acosta, who plays the second oldest brother, and he's just trying to find his way where he fits in society before his parents get deported. And then after that, he kind of sees that he is this fatherly figure to his younger siblings, especially Valentina. So he finds his place in the world, and he's content with it.
The buses have arrived. We'll be boarding shortly.
No, we're not done yet.
No, it's not. You've done nothing wrong.
Gotta go.
No, get your hands off her!
Lou, stop.
Eh? She's not less of a person than you are. What's the matter with this country?
Lucia, dignity, mija. Show them who we are.
They don't care who we are, Papi. Don't you understand that by now?
We show ourselves.
I play Lucia Acosta. We're actually twins. And Lucia, she's always been a very play by the rules kind of girl. And she's always been very studious. She's always been very focused on school and getting good grades. Until her parents get deported, it sort of brings her to grow up very quickly. And she develops this confusion about herself and about the world. And she's sort of trying to find an outlet in which to release all of these like pent-up emotions that she has. So throughout the season, you'll see her get involved with activism, and it's cool.
And so you guys are twins on the show.
Yeah.
Yes, and
But
pretty much
basically in real life.
Pretty much real life,
Did
yeah.
you know each other before this project?
Nope.
No, but
Yeah,
it
the
feels like we
chemistry.
did.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you create that chemistry of a family offset so that it actually shows on set?
A lot of blackmail and a lot of no, it's just literally hanging out. I mean, like you can't
Spending time together. You can't force it. That's
You
the
can't,
thing.
yeah.
It's like sometimes you have it, sometimes you don't. But thankfully with us, I
Yeah.
mean, we've had it since the chemistry read, and it's just gotten stronger.
And I think after that, when we like met up and hung out before we even shot the pilot, it wasn't like, oh, let's come hang out to get to know each other. It's just, oh, come out.
Yeah,
Like my mom's making it
exactly.
up.
My mom, yeah, literally.
So it was just, yeah.
She's becoming quite the cook, Mommy. You'd be proud.
You'd be surprised how well Beto's gotten at doing laundry.
Yeah. Yeah. So how'd the job search go today?
Why do you think that this storyline is so important to see on screen?
Because it's on the news. It's happening right now. And I don't think it's talked about enough, especially on screen. Like, there are some shows that will do one episode on immigration or... but, I mean, this is obviously something that we keep throughout the entire season. I mean, our parents are gone. They are deported. And I think it's very important to be able to tell something like this, especially with an all Latinx cast. I think that's a huge deal for the screen. So it's a blessing that we get to be a part of that step forward.
Yes. Yeah. And ¿hablas español?
Sí, claro.
Sí, pero no.
Claro.
No, más o menos.
Sí, but I think that gives a nod to that this show isn't necessarily going to be what we expect when we read the synopsis.
Yeah.
I feel like it's, and from what I've heard, it's not heavy-handed on one side or the other. There's a little more realness. So you don't speak Spanish.
No, correct.
Your character or you personally.
Yeah, correct. I was on this side of culture where my grandparents came to this country and were frowned upon because of the way they spoke, unfortunately. So it was kind of speak English now here in America. And that's how I was raised, which is very sad. But I'm still very, very in touch with my culture, very in touch. And being surrounded by Emily, Brandon, and crew that spoke Spanish on set, I'm just learning it more and more every day.
He's like almost holding conversations with my mom.
Yeah, I mean, it's very, try, entiendo. It's just, yeah, I'm working on it.
But cases like yours only get reversed 8% of the time. I looked it up. And it works against us that Emilio is DACA because technically he's old enough to take care of us.
Who knows how long his status will hold?
Which is why I want you to go to church, mijos, okay?
And every case is different, you know? Look at us. We've never not paid our taxes. We employ American citizens. I got that citation from the Policeman's Benevolent Association. Remember that?
Already? It's 3
Okay, time's up. Let's go.
Welcome, Party of 2 for Party of 5.
Yes, here we are.
Welcome back. This must feel really great to have your baby back again.
Yes, it's a little strange. You see like 25 years of your life sort of collapsed. And there are moments of the original that we have sort of recaptured, and it feels like no time has passed in some ways.
So fans of the original, my generation, they're going to find some Easter eggs in there to really pull them back and.
Well, I think there are things in the show that people who are familiar with the show will understand immediately. Like we, in planning who the family was, it worked the first time how those kids sort of stacked up against each other, that the oldest was the least responsible and the boy was the most maternal, the youngest was, so we kept certain qualities to our characters. And so I think an audience, when they come to the show, they'll feel like they know these kids immediately. But it's a completely different circumstance.
And this is heavy stuff. Is every episode of Party of 5 going to have this much weight, or is there some levity here and there?
There's definitely some levity to it as well. I mean, because ultimately life continues, life goes on, and even to people who go through something like what the Acostas experience in the show, they find a way to carry on. They still have to go through their day, and the siblings are still siblings. They're brothers and sisters. They joke with each other. They tease each other, all while they're trying to figure out these incredibly difficult life experiences.
I think some viewers might be like, oh, you know what? I just don't want a political show. What would you tell them about that? Is this a show that is definitely one-sided or polarized?
The only really political stand the show takes is that families belong together. That's it. And I think our intention is just to invite people into a family in this circumstance. You know, if it feels too political, we'll lose an audience, I think. But I think we feel confident that there is enough to engage an audience just on the level of this is a family that's dealing with a crisis.
All we ever wanted was for them to be proud of us.
They have this way of holding hands. It's like their phone chargers. They have to be plugged into each other a few hours every day.
My parents take care of things. I need to see your papers. I don't have papers.
No, don't take them! Get your hands off
Lucia,
her!
dignity, mija. Show them who we are.
They don't care who we are, Papi.
And we show ourselves.
Mommy and Poppy figured it out. So will we.
My thanks to everyone at Freeform and their new show, Party of 5, which is airing right now on Channel 180 on Dish. In the Dish studio, which happens to be at the Langham Hotel in Pasadena, California, I'm Jessica York.